Hey, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, new listeners and current listeners. And we thank you for joining us on the show today from all around the world, including Canada, the USA, areas of Long Island, the five boroughs of the Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your host with the most, G Money Stacks, aka Lonely Nomad, aka The Gregonator, aka Rookie Podcaster of Queens, New York. And you are now listening to Off the Meatrack Chainz New York podcast, episode 27. Now, if you are new to the channel and a new listener and you missed previous episodes whatsoever, don't worry, I got you. All you gotta do is subscribe to the YouTube channel G Money Stacks 555. Click the notification bell to be reminded on the upcoming live stream episodes, previous recorded episodes. Of course, leave a like and a comment on the topics in the episodes. And also, don't forget to share the show with your friends. Also, if you would like to be a guest and you have topic ideas that you want us to talk about, and you want us to you know read your chain letter that you need advice on, and if you want to be interviewed, like if you are a singer, a rapper, a DJ, VJ, a radio personality, a podcast host like myself, and of course we cannot forget the black people who have their own businesses that are black owned trendsetters. All you got to do is email the show right here at Off the Meat Rat Chains NY podcast at gmail.com. That's Off the Meat Rat Chains NY podcast at gmail.com. Also, if you would like to make a donation to support the show, all you have to do is go to the link in the bio and it's going to say support the podcast by making a donation. And another way you could make a donation is through my Cash App, which is $G Money Stacks 555. That's $GMONEYSTACKZ 555. Now, in case you're wondering, um, I'm giving B Live some rest, but he'll be back on the next episode, which will be coming up in a few minutes. But I would like to start off by giving an applause for reaching so far into episode 27 so far. Give it up for Off the Meat Rat Chains for reaching its milestone for episode 27. Shall we? Now, we have a segment right here called Chatting on the Jazz. And for those of you who may not know what Chatting on the Jazz is, basically Chatting on the Jazz is basically about the weekly topics that catches our interest and we discuss them. We share our thoughts and talks about them, especially with opinions and factual information. And in honor of Mental Health Awareness Check-in, I wanted to start off with the levels of trauma. Now, I have an article right here that I want to read to you about. It's from a website called medicinenet.com. So just bear with me, all right? And the title is Abuse, Trauma, and Mental Health Facts. All right. Abuse, Trauma, and Mental Health Facts, written by Charles P. Davis, MD, PhD. And the points goes like this. Experiencing abuse or trauma may put your mental health at risk for anxiety, fear, drug and or alcohol abuse, depression, eating disorder, self-injury, and suicide. Traumatic experiences in the military, for example, experiencing combat deaths, incoming gunfire, viewing the effects of explosions, can be related to mental health problems. Military sexual trauma means sexual assault or repeated threatening sexual harassment while the victim is in the military includes men and women, but women are at higher risk. So the symptoms goes like this: anxiety, anger, depression, difficulty sleeping, mood and or appetite changes, and drug and or alcohol abuse. Um if someone or if you or someone you know has suffered abuse or trauma and is in danger from themselves or others, call 911 immediately. Getting professional help is good advice for anyone who has mental health problems. Abuse and trauma are usually treated with different, with types of talk therapy, medicines, or both. Now, how are abuse and trauma related to mental health, you ask? Trauma can appear after you experience an event or events that hurt you physically or emotionally. Trauma can have lasting effects on your mental, physical, and emotional health, especially, experiencing abuse or other trauma puts people at risk of developing mental health conditions such as anxiety disorders, depression, post traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD, misusing alcohol or drugs, borderline personality disorder, which I will talk about in a future episode of Mental Health Check-in segment. Abuse may have happened during childhood or as an adult. It can be emotional, verbal, physical, or sexual. Trauma can include dangerous, frightening, or extremely stressful situations or events, such as sexual assault, war, an accident, or natural disaster, the sudden or violent death of a close loved one, or a serious physical health problem. The long term effects of abuse or trauma can include severe anxiety, stress, or fear, abuse of alcohol or drugs, depression, eating disorder, self injury, suicide. Um, Now, how can being in the military affect my mental health, you ask? If you were or are in the military, you may have experienced or witnessed a life threatening event. You may have been on missions that exposed you to traumatic combat related experiences such as incoming fire, explosive devices, or dead bodies. Other than the military experiences like sexual trauma, can also affect mental health. About 1 in 4 veterans of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan has been diagnosed with a mental health condition such as post traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD, depression, and anxiety. Left untreated, mental health issues can cause long-term problems for you, your family, and your community. Reach out to someone for help if you are experiencing the signs of a mental health condition. What is military sexual trauma, you ask? Military sexual trauma, excuse me, it's my belly. Don't mind that. So, military sexual trauma is a term used by the Department of Veterans Affairs to describe sexual assault or repeated threatening sexual harassment that happens while the victim is in the military. MST can happen to both men and women, but female service members are at higher risk of MTS. MTS, no, excuse me, MST can also lead to depression, post traumatic stress disorder, and substance abuse. Studies show that 1 in 4 or 5 women in the military experiences MST, which is military sexual trauma. MST can happen during war, peace, or training. It can happen between people of the same sex or different sexes. If you experience MST, you may feel fear, shame, anger, embarrassment, or guilt. You may have trouble trusting people. You may even have physical symptoms like headaches, diarrhea, chronic fatigue, or gynecological problems. When you are actively serving, it can be difficult to report or talk about MST. The Department of Defense has 2 ways for you to report assault if you are on active duty. Restricted reporting lets you confidentially report the assault to someone and get medical treatment and counseling, but it won't trigger an actual investigation. This is intended to make it easier to report an assault and to give you time to heal mentally and physically. You can decide later if you want the military to begin a criminal investigation. Unres- Unrestricted reporting means that you will still receive medical treatment and counseling, but the assault will be reported through your chain of command. It will trigger an investigation. If you have been assaulted or are unsure about what to do, you can call a confidential hotline that helps, excuse me, that that works specifically with the DoD community. The safe helpline, you can call 877-995-5247. It's 877-995-5247. That's the safe helpline number. Or you could visit the website safehelpline.org. If you have experienced MST, you can also contact your nearest VA facility to speak with the MST coordinator. VA facilities have healthcare providers who are trained to treat the effects of MST. Many have specialized outpatient mental health services focusing on sexual trauma. You may also be able to get compensation from the military to help with treatment. How do I know if my mental health is affected by past abuse or trauma, you ask? It can be difficult to tell whether or how much your mental health is affected by past abuse or trauma. Sometimes the symptoms of trauma or abuse don't start to affect you don't start to affect your life for many months or years after the event took place. If you have any of the following symptoms, talk to your doctor or nurse or reach out for help: anxiety, trouble sleeping, anger, depression, changes in mood or appetite, abusing drugs or alcohol. What should I do if I've been abused or traumatized? The sooner you get professional help for abuse or trauma, the sooner you can get better. If you have been physically hurt, visit a doctor right away. You may also need to call the police. The doctor and the police can help document what has happened to you. The documentation may be important later if you decide to press charges against someone who attacked you. If you are experiencing changes in how you think, feel, or behave that are interfering with your ability to work or live your life normally, reach out to a mental health professional. Find a mental health professional near you. A mental health professional can help make sense of any symptoms you may have excuse me, you may be having that are related to your abuse or trauma. Excuse me for my belly. Give me 1 second. Okay. Anyway, where did I leave off? Oh yeah. If you are experiencing changes in how you think, feel, or behave that are interfering with your ability to work or live your life normally, reach out to a mental health professional. Find a mental health professional near you. A mental health professional can help make sense of any symptoms you may be having that are related to your abuse or trauma. The professional can help you find the best kinds of treatment to help manage symptoms of the abuse or trauma. If you are in immediate danger, call 911. You can also call helplines to talk about what happened to you or get guidance about what to do. You have hotlines like the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The phone number is 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. SAFE, which is safe. You also have the National Sexual Assault Hotline, which is 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-4673. You also have the SAFE Hotline, which is 1-877-995-5247. That's 1-877-95, no, excuse me, 995-5247. Abuse or trauma you have suffered is not your fault. You can get better with treatment. Okay. How are abuse and trauma treated? Symptoms caused by abuse or trauma can usually be treated with different types of talk therapy, medicine, or both. Therapy with a professional counselor can help you work through your feelings and learn healthy ways to cope. Medicines might, excuse me, medicines might include antidepressants or anti-anxiety medicine. Today's complementary mind and body therapies, such as mindfulness and yoga, may be offered along with traditional treatments such as medicine and therapy. Now, in case anybody was wondering why I read this article, it's because of the fact that this is mental health awareness check-in segment that I created. And this was basically inspired by someone who basically um was reaching out to people to basically find out how are they doing mentally, spiritually, and physically. And I think it's important to actually point out um the steps to, reaching out to somebody. Like, there's many ways for you to reach out to somebody, whether it's with compassion, empathy, sympathy, and the most important thing to me is being there for somebody in a time of need. And that's actually what I had to learn over the years. Um, whether it's like a family member, whether it's a close best friend of yours that you knew from college or whatever. But at the same time, um, I did feel helpless at one point into figure into figuring out how to help somebody. The thing is, there's certain situations that's inevitable that makes you feel powerless. Now, you're not alone in this. And before I get to the next topic, I do want to say this though. That's very, very important when it comes to friendship, of course. When you're reaching out to somebody, regardless of what they're going through, all you gotta do is do your best to reach out. Now, now it may not be on an everyday basis, but at the same token, just think, just think before you do anything, reckless. All right. Now, that's basically what I all wanted to say. Um, the next topic that I want to talk about is the whole Tiger Woods thing. Now, um, as you may know, previously, Tiger Woods has gotten into a fender bender, and there was an investigation, and basically, from what I read, there was no alcohol in the system. They did say that speed played a role in this. And I do have an article right here that has a picture of him standing by his dog on crutches. So let me let me get to the article right here, shall we? And the article goes like this. For the first time since the accident that nearly took his life, Tiger Woods unveiled a picture on Friday showing him standing on crutches next to his dog. Woods has stayed out of the limelight since the incident in February, when he was injured in in the crash in Rancho Palos Verdes on Hawthorne Boulevard. In March, he returned from the Los Angeles hospital where he was recovering to his Florida home. The fractures from the crash were on the upper and lower parts of both the fibula and tibia, tibia, and a rod was inserted to stabilize the area. Screws and pins were used to treat other injuries in the ankle and foot, while the doctors sliced muscle in the area to relieve pressure and swelling in the area. a safeguard against infection. Yeah, I feel bad for you, man. Hope he gets better though. Anyway, but the 82-time PGA Tour champ looked in good spirits as he stood next to his dog Bugs, who is a borderline no, excuse me, who is a border collie and Springer's um spaniel mix. Um Woods mistakenly thought he was in the state of Florida when he was interviewed by a sheriff's deputy at a Los Angeles area hospital after he crashed his vehicle in February. According to a 22-page collision report that reveals several new details about the collision sequence and aftermath. The sheriff's department did not try to examine Wood's blood for evidence of medication because there wasn't a strong enough reason for it, according to deputies. Man, that's crazy, man. This is my take on this. You knew that there was going if you knew that if you knew that Tiger Woods was hurt, right? And you decide not to do an investigation, that to me sounds like a slap in the face. And the reason I say it's a slap in the face because of the fact that you have to really, 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 know how to do your job. And it seems to me that they're not doing their job. They just they just act like nothing happened. And to me, that is a no-no for me, man. I'm sorry. That's a no-no right here. If you're gonna be a sheriff or a police officer, right, and you are a part of an organization that does investigations to crash sites and stuff, you should want to be able to figure out the answers to how, when, what, and why. And that's a major fact right here. Now, in case anybody's been listening, I've been trying to get some sound effects for this show to make it more interesting. Now, as far as anything goes, um, our next topic on this episode 27 is going to be pertaining to another serious incident, which has something to do with another Asian hate crime. Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy to actually hear stories like this. Um, let me give me a second. I'll just look for it right about. Let's go to um. Let's go to Now, I do want to say something about the whole Asian hate crime thing, and it's been happening for quite some time. It's it's a shame that you know you live in a world, especially around New York, that's been and I can't really blame things on the media. And the reason I can't blame things on the media sometimes is because okay, they make mistakes, but it's part of their job to actually tell the story. Now I'm not gonna justify it, but um I will say this though. Nobody no no matter what company you work for, whether it's in the entertainment industry or whatever, no one's perfect. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. And the reason I'm saying this is because, I hate the idea that we all have to blame you have to place blame on somebody, including the media. But at the same time, you witness if you witness something, like let's say somebody being pushed to the tracks, right? Kind of like what I did. I witnessed somebody trying to shove somebody onto the railroad tracks years ago as I was waiting for the E train going to the train station. And to be honest, I feel like there's no there's no there's no cops watching people. And and to be quite honest, it's just, to me, it's just, you just gotta do better. And in the previous episode, we was talking about how there was a survey in regards to how there's there's a dissatisfaction with not only the harassment but the crimes of, the hate crimes, the slashings. It's just, and I know what you're thinking. Oh, the crime in subways is down. Well, if it's down, then how come you have people still beating people up? That part I'm not understanding. That part I'm not understanding. And and to be quite honest, nobody deserves to get beat up. Doesn't matter what color you are. Um and I say this with passion. That's why you hear the passion of my voice. Now, now let me look up the article about the hate crime in Brooklyn, which I will talk about. Um just bear with me, folks. Okay. So according to the New York Daily News, excuse me for a second. Let me change something real quick. Let's see. Um, let's change something real quick. All right. So according to the Daily News, um, an Asian teen, excuse me, an Asian woman was slapped on a Brooklyn subway train by a teenage stranger who told her, "Get off my train. You don't belong here," cops said Wednesday. The 50-year-old victim was riding a Coney Island bound D train through Borough Park when the hateful teen confronted her, smacking her in the back of the head. Um, let's see. Now, this is crazy, man. This is very crazy to me, and I don't like stories like this. I really don't like stories like this, especially with with everything going on. Um, just bear with me, folks. I'm really trying to get it together in this episode, and just bear with me. All right. So, I do have more on here. Okay. All right. So, I had looked up an article on the New York Post with the same story. So let's just go with it. Two Asian Americans were targeted in hate crimes in the Big Apple over the weekend. A 15-year-old boy who was called Ching Chong in Queens, and then beaten and a 52-year-old woman who was nearly pushed onto the subway tracks in Brooklyn, cops said Sunday. Both attacks happened Saturday and are being investigated by the NYPD's hate crime task force, according to a police spokesman. A 15-year-old victim was sitting at 62-01 99th Street in Flushing, and he was approached by a group of 5 teenagers around 3 p.m. What the fuck you looking at, Ching Chong? One of the teens asked, according to cops. The boy got up and asked the teens to leave him alone, but they insisted, began punching him in the head with their fists, police said. The victim was taken to Booth Memorial Hospital in stable condition. Three teenagers, three of the teenagers to be exact, ages 18, 15, and 14, were arrested and two were being sought, cops said. They were charged with misdemeanor assault and harassment, cops said. Hate crimes charges could be added later, cops said. This is so fucking unbelievable, man, to hear stories like this. But bear with me. Meanwhile, the female victim was attacked at the Myrtle Avenue and Broadway subway station in Bedford-Stuyvesant around 3:25 p.m., cops said. The woman, who is Chinese, told police she was approached by a female she didn't know who pushed her twice toward the track while making statements, cops said. A good Samaritan prevented her from falling onto the tracks, a police spokesman said. The suspect fled the station. The victim, who speaks limited English, wasn't sure what the woman said, cops said. The NYPD was ramped up its bias crimes division recently by adding Asian American cops to try to curb the disturbing spike in hate crimes. Oh, damn. Okay. I hate hearing stories like this, especially people in different races who end up being, victims to being pushed onto the railroad tracks. And this is why a lot of people are afraid to take the trains because of not only harassment, but crimes like this. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped taking that's like maybe one of the major reasons why I stopped taking the train. Well, actually, there's more than one reason. In 2012, I had a job interview for a Red Lobster in Brooklyn by the Barclays Center. But because of an F train derailment that happened, um, I I ended up going backwards on the E train. And believe it or not, this shit is scary. Was I pissed? Yeah, I was pissed. And to be quite honest, who wouldn't? Imagine you having a job interview that's the most important thing in your life, right? And you miss it because of a train derailment. And I think sometimes the MTA that's in charge of the trains and stuff, including the track work, they need to do better. And I'm sorry to go on a tangent like this, but this is just my biggest frustration with the MTA subway system at this point. It's just not right, man, for what I'm hearing and stuff like that. And to me to hear stuff like this, it's just not it's not right, man. And I am going to give out a buzzer on this one, man. And this is not this is just me expressing my frustration and opinion. Sorry, MTA, Subway, you're gonna get this. Sorry. I had to do it. 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 I just have to be so passionate and whatnot when it comes to topics like this because this is crazy to me. And listen, speaking of crazy, I got another article that's gonna sound very crazy. Just give me a second. A man. Wait, hold on. Now, there was a video that I seen in regards to a man saving somebody, no, saving a woman from a bobcat out of all animals. Why are you messing with a bobcat, man? Are you serious? A bobcat is the most dangerous animal in an endangered species at all times. You lucky that he's lucky that the man is lucky to be alive and not get any rabies from that animal, all right? I'm just saying though, man. But let's get to the article, shall we? Now, according to the insider.com, a video trending online shows a man saving his wife from a bobcat attack by grabbing it off her with his bare hands. His bare hands out of all things? Are you serious? Goddamn. Yo. Yo, this is very, very, very crazy and interesting that I'm reading right now. So let me just keep going with this. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Home security cameras captured the moment in the early morning of April 9th in the town of Burgard, North Carolina. Police confirmed on Friday. The dramatic events began as just another placid day in Serbia. Suburbia, excuse me. It shows a man who has not been identified greeting a woman jogging down the street as he walks out of his driveway. I need to wash my car, the man says as he puts down his coffee mug on the hood and pulls out his car keys. The man's wife then appears in the video holding a pet carrier as she tries to get into the car. All of a sudden, a screeching bobcat appears, grabbing onto the woman's leg as she starts to scream. Damn, I feel bad for her, man. Let's hope that this woman is all right, though. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's nothing really serious, but that to me is just crazy right there, man. That's very crazy to me right there, man. I hate to do this, but I have to do it anyway. And the reason why I played this sound effect music right here is because anything terrible happening in stories like this, scary situations like this, it's gonna get played. So so as the article continues, the husband reacts quickly, sprinting around the car, grabbing the bobcat with his bare hands and holding it up in the air as he shouts, "A bobcat! A bobcat!" He then proceeds to catapult the screaming animal a few feet across the lawn as the female jogger comes back to help. Get out, get out, get out, get out. The man yells at the terrified bobcat, which immediately runs underneath the car. I'll shoot that fucker, the man shouts. Watch the dramatic moments below. The video, which was first posted to TikTok, at all places, um, has garnered over 1 million viewers. Excuse me, 1 million views as of Saturday. Captain James Rowell. Captain James Rowell with the Pender County Sheriff's officers said the same bobcat had attacked another person before it arrived at the house. It's not uncommon to see bobcats, Rowell said, according to the News and Observer. They don't normally cause a problem. They stay away from folks. Attacks on humans are the rare but have increased in recent decades, according to a study published in the scientific journal Ecology and Evolution in 2019. In a comprehensive Twitter thread, wildlife biologist Imogene Cancellaire said that the bobcat looked like a juvenile cat that is very unlikely to charge you. If it does, it may feel concerned, it may feel cornered, be protecting young, or in rare cases have rabies, which is a fact. With 1-inch claw and 1-inch canines, a bobcat attack risks deep lacerations. You need stitches, but it's unlikely a bobcat could kill a human, Cancellaire wrote. Officials said that they trapped the cat and took it to the state laboratory of public health and relay, where they determined it did, in fact, have rabies. I can't believe they named this guy Cancelaire. I can't I can't believe that's his fucking name. That's crazy. Anyway, anyway, I feel bad for the bobcat in the video because he got thrown, but we're not going to vilify the guy for protecting his wife. If I was holding a bobcat that was trying to bite me, I would absolutely throw it away from me, Cancellaire added. She added that the bobcats who test positive for rabies will likely be euthanized. Experts advise that if you are attacked by a bobcat, you should make loud noises, throw items at it, and wave your hands in the air. Cancellaire also said that keeping the bobcat away from your neck and head is important because you could lose an eye. Facts. Well, there you have it. There you have it. The lessons on what to do when you are encountering a dangerous animal that's part of an endangered species like a bobcat. Now, don't try this at home, folks, because that is one of the deadliest animals that I ever heard in years, and you rarely hear about bobcats being able to kill humans. You rarely hear stories like that. But what I'm saying is, like the lessons that I just read off of the article. Just keep that in mind, and don't try to mess with it because that's not gonna work. All right, that is not gonna work. Um, Speaking of what's not gonna work before we even get to the Blueface thing. Um, I don't know if y'all heard, but the whole Kobe Bryant sneaker with Nike has expired. Now, I will pull up an article about this in a second, so just bear with me, all right? All right, folks. Um, just bear with me. So you may I know a couple of weeks ago that the Bryant Nike deal has expired on April 13th of this year, exactly 5 years to the day that his 60-point performance provided an exclamation point to a Hall of Fame career. Bryant, who originally signed with Nike in 2003, after an extended run with Adidas to start his career, signed a 5-year extension with the swoosh in 2016. Now, his wife, according to CBSSports.com, basically, all right, here's how the article goes. Um, so the article goes like this. It says Kobe Bryant's wife, Vanessa, issues statement after Nike deal expires as two sides failed to come to an agreement. Um, One of the longest running sneaker lines in the industry could be coming to an end after Nike and Kobe's estate failed to come to an agreement on a new deal this month. First reported by Complex and later confirmed by Nike. Bryant's Nike deal expired on April 13th of this year, exactly 5 years to the day that his 60-point performance provided an exclamation point to the Hall of Fame career. Bryant, who originally signed with Nike in 2003 after an extended run with Adidas to start his career, signed a 5-year extension with the swoosh in April 2016. That extension came to an end this month, and as it stands, it's unclear what the future holds for Nike Kobe sneakers. Bryant's signature line with Nike is one of the longest running sneaker lines in basketball. End quote. Kobe Bryant was an important part of Nike's deep connection to consumers, Nike said in a statement issued on Monday. He pushed us and made us, excuse me, and made everyone around him better. Though our contractual relationship has ended, he remains a deeply loved member of the Nike family. As part of his signature line, Bryant laced up 11 different models during his playing career, and Nike continued to release his sneakers long after his retirement in 2016. After Bryant's death in January of 2020, prices for his sneakers skyrocketed on resale sites like StockX and GOAT. In the 14 months since his death, Nike has released more than 10 of his signature shoes, with more releases slated through 2021. Kobe and Nike have made some of the most beautiful basketball shoes of all time, worn and adored by fans and athletes in all sports across the globe. Vanessa Bryant said in a statement, "It seems fitting that more NBA players wear my husband's product than any other signature shoe. My hope will always be to allow Kobe friends to get and wear his products. I will continue to fight for that. Kobe's products sell out in seconds." That says everything. Hang on a minute. All right. Here we go. Nike offered Vanessa and the Bryant estate a deal that would extend the relationship, but that offer fell short of expectations from the Bryant side, according to ESPN. I was hoping I was hoping to forge a lifelong partnership with Nike that reflects my husband's legacy, Bryant said to cap off her statement. We will always do everything we can to honor Kobe and Gigi's legacies. That will never change. Bryant and the estate grew frustrated with Nike's approach to the Kobe line since his retirement, feeling like the product was too limited and there was a lack of availability in kids' sizes, per ESPN. The final Nike Kobe release to date was the Nike Kobe 6 Grinch, which was restocked on the Nike SNKRS app on April 13th as a com- commemoration of Bryant's final NBA game with the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, the Kobe 6 Grinch, like many of the Kobe sneakers released since his death, was one of the more coveted sneakers in Bryant's historically successful line. As it looks now, the Bryant estate and Nike aren't likely to circle back and agree to a new deal, so you can expect the market for his Nike sneakers to heat up and resale prices to hit an all-time high. Well, well, it is what it is though. I mean, if they can't if you know they can't reach a deal, then you know it is what it is. I mean, just is what it is. So speaking of it is what it is. Our very last topic has to do with Blueface. Now, when I heard this story in regards to Blueface, if you will, um, this has got to do with the crazy idea of him secretly running a cult. Fans ask questions. Are you fucking serious? The Tatiana rapper is running a damn cult. Are you fucking kidding me? This is gonna get. This is no, no. That's a buzzer right here. And this is just terrible, man. Terrible news. This is just terrible right here, man. And I'll just read this article before we wrap up the show here today. Um, so in the clip, the rapper is seen walking through a home with several young women in bunk beds, asking if they will be getting their tattoos today. We're getting tattoos today, he states, before walking up to one young woman and asking, "You ready to get tatted?" When he asks where she will get it, she points to her back. Blueface then turns to the camera on another young woman who turns away and doesn't answer when he asks, you getting your tattoo today?" He then insists, "Tattoo or go home? Which one is it?" The star then approaches another young woman who indicates she'll get her tattoo on the top of her hand. And the video ends with a shot of another of his guests' finished tattoos. It's unclear where the video was posted since the star was banned from Instagram after posting live videos featuring nearly nude strippers at a strip club, but the the footage was taken by Blueface himself, holding, mind you, holding a phone as he walks through a house. You got to be fucking kidding me, man. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah, damn, man. And you wonder why his fucking music career is down the damn potty, just like fucking NBA Youngboy. And I hate to bring NBA Youngboy to this shit, but he did some dumb shit too, man. And this is how I feel about the both of these motherfuckers right here. Sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it. I mean, somebody's got to do it and point out the stupidity and the bullshit that they're doing. So, somebody has to do it, man. It's oh man. So, the young women are part of what is known as the Blue Girls Club. The Blue Girls Club. Oh shit. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is so fucking ridiculous right there. Oh, Blueface, Blueface, Blueface. And I can't believe you named yourself that, man. This is ridiculous, man. But I digress on that shit though, man. But anyway, the video was met with strong reactions on social media with fans calling the star, quote, the next R. Kelly? Are you serious? Come on. You should do better than that. You should not be like R. Kelly, man. I'm sorry, but you would not in your whole lifetime ruin your music career and to be like R. Kelly with the whole sex cult shit. Like, come on, son. This is ridiculous. Anyways, who is accused of grooming young women as sex? Oh gosh. Anyway, get tatted or go home. That surviving Blueface died. Oh my gosh. Gonna be crazy sick. Wrote one user. Wow, another added, okay, so let's talk more about the Blueface is basically running from the cult. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I look. All right, man. This is my whole take on this whole Blueface shit, man. Is he like the next R. Kelly? According to the article? Yeah, allegedly. Allegedly he's like the next R. Kelly. Like, come on. Anywhere you put it, man. Like, if you know that he's doing some ridiculous wrong shit whatsoever, knowing that he is doing something very wrong to these young women. And they don't really look happy, man. I hate to say this though, man, but you're forcing them to get a tattoo of your damn ugly face is fucking outrageous, man. And this deserves a buzzer right here. I'm sorry, man, but this is not right though, man. Like, come on. I can't even imagine myself or any of my friends doing some shit like this. Cause this is unbearable, man. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Man, I tell you, people nowadays are just doing dumb stuff just to get attention. And that to me is just plain being a screw up. You're being a screwball to be exact, to make it sound like you're really not, but you really are a screwball in this case. messing around with young women. You should be ashamed of yourself, Blueface. And it goes to the same to R. Kelly. Both of them should be ashamed. Why in the hell would you taint your damn music career to do some ridiculous sexual favors for young women? You can't be serious. And before I wrap up the show, I want to actually leave off with a motivational positive note. And I'm going to be picking a motivational quote from an app that I'm using. Um and to end the show with a motivational quote as I'm looking, I would like to actually say, now hang on a minute. In case you're hearing the ice cream music, it's coming from my streets, so don't worry about that. Um um so so the quote goes like this. So the motivational quote goes like this though. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream another dream. Meaning, in other words, you're never too big to succeed. And if you have the power to actually have a way to empower people with your power by inspiring them to be able to chase their dreams, I bet you will have the confidence to actually inspire people. And that's exactly, what I learned recently when I actually, you know, when I recently watched the break room sports podcast. And I actually, when I said that, I didn't I didn't think I didn't think I didn't think I was gonna get a reaction like that. But I do commend I do commend podcasters, including Scorpio P with Marie. Shout outs to them, man. And they are the main reason, and along with other podcasters, that inspired me into making a podcast, which so far this is like 27 episodes in the books so far. So I would like to give an applause for reaching that much success. So give it up for 27 episodes in the books right now. Now, if you like what you heard in today's episode whatsoever, um and you like to actually be able to, make a donation to support off the Meatrack Chainz New York podcast, you can do so by going to the link tree, link tree / G Money Stacks 555. Now, mind you, this is an ice cream, Mr. Softy, truck that's passing by my house, so don't worry about that. We're still here. Um, Now, like I said, if you want to make a generous donation, you go to the link tree and you're gonna see the phrase support the podcast by making a generous donation, and it's gonna take you to a spot where it says where it's gonna ask you for debit cards, and also you can also support the podcast by making a donation to my Cash App. My Cash App is $ G Money Stacks 555, That's $GMONEYSTACKZ 555. Now we're not asking you to break the bank. We're asking you to do your best and do what you can to afford on a monthly basis. So, um, also you can follow the podcast on Facebook and Instagram alongside with my social media handle, which is off the Meatrack Chainz NY podcast on Facebook and Instagram, all in one word. And you can follow me on the primary Instagram handle, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. That's G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Um Also, I will be making an announcement real soon about a second podcast that I'm going to be doing. Now, I don't have a release date yet. So, all I know is I will dedicate an episode of Off the Meatrack Chainz New York podcast entitled Hot Grind Podcast Summer 2021. So, you would have to tune in to that one right there. And also you could also follow the other podcast page that I created, which is Music Movie TV Juice Podcast. And for those of you who may not know, it's an upcoming weekly podcast in in terms of the review that we're going to be doing to talk about music artists in terms of the variety of singers, the variety of rappers, variety of hip hop artists, variety of DJs, um, and also the movies that's our favorite, the TV shows that's our favorite, all that good stuff though. But but for now, I don't have a date and I don't have a release date. So I'm in a process of looking for talkative people to co-host with me on that. So if you like to be a co-host of my second podcast, which is Music Movie TV Juice Podcast, you can DM me at G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Or you could go to my personal email, which is gmoneystacks Queens, New York 5 at gmail.com. Send me your schedule. That way, you can determine to me which day are you free to record the podcast. So that way I'll be able to send you an invite from excuse me, an invite from the StreamYard link to your email or your phone number, however you want to do it. And for now, for now, um, which let me go to the let's go to where you can listen to the podcast. Um, Now you're wondering where you could listen to the podcast? I'll help you out. You can listen to Off the Meatrack Chainz New York podcast episodes on Podorama, Anchor, Spotify, Audioburst, Deezer, TuneIn, Player FM, Podchaser, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Podcast Addict, Breaker, Listen Notes, Amazon Music. And also, please don't forget to listen to Off the Meatrack Chainz New York podcast on iHeartRadio. And also, you can listen and watch on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, all you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, G Money Stacks 555. Click the notification bell so you could be reminded of when the show goes on the air live, along with the episodes being recorded and posted on the channel. And also, don't forget to leave a like and a comment with the topics alongside with the episodes that was discussed. And also don't forget to leave and show love with a 5-star rating review. Don't forget to download your favorite episodes. Don't forget to share the show along with the pages of the podcast being on streaming platforms. Be sure you follow the podcast on every streaming platform that I just mentioned. And also don't forget to share the show with your friends um alongside with your friends. So um I think I'm going to actually I'm gonna end it off right here. So before I wrap up, I do want to say this in a motivational, inspiring way. Like I always say, in any promo or any recording whatsoever, if you have a dream, whether it's being a podcast host like myself, creating the show, whether it's radio personality, whatever career it may be, don't let anybody stop you from achieving your goals and your dreams. Because at the end of the day, your happiness is what matters. You know what I'm saying? Not nobody else's but you. The only way you're gonna make the only way you're gonna be happy is by doing you. You gotta make moves. You gotta make moves for yourself. It's not about pleasing other people, and that's what I had to learn from the years of trying to be my own person. See, it's not about pleasing the people, and it's not about pleasing the audience. When you create a podcast, it's about what you think about the topics and what you think in your opinion, your thoughts, and your talks. That's what matters here. And that's where I'll end this off on a positive, motivational note right here. Now, in case you haven't, in case you missed any of the previous episodes whatsoever, don't worry. I'll always have your back. And for now, I'll be glad to say thank you to all the new listeners and current listeners that's been tuning in and rocking with the show of episode 27 that's in the books of crazy times. So, I'm G Money Stacks. Thank you all for listening, tuning in, and rocking with us. And I'll see you in the next episode. Peace and one love, everybody.